The city pulsed with morning ambition, glass towers gleaming in the sun, the echo of hurried footsteps bouncing off marble floors. Amid the sea of suits and briefcases, a small girl stood out. Sophie. 6 years old, quiet eyes, soft pink dress brushing her knees as she clutched her favorite toy. Her mother, Clara, worked as a corporate translator for one of the city's most powerful businessmen, Mr. Liang, a self-made millionaire whose empire stretched across continents. That morning was supposed to be ordinary. Clara brought Sophie along only because the babysitter canceled. Just a short meeting, she had promised. But that promise would soon unfold into a moment that changed all their lives forever. Before we go deeper, if you believe in courage, kindness, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to HQ Infinite Stories. Your support helps us spread hope to more hearts around the world. Sunlight poured through the giant glass doors as Clara knelt to fix Sophie's cardigan. Nearby, 3 security guards waited. Beside a sleek black car, Mr. Liang had just finished a press conference and was preparing to leave. Everything looked normal. Almost too perfect. Sophie's gaze wandered. She noticed the guards whispering in low tones. Words she didn't quite understand until she did. Clara had been teaching Sophie simple phrases in different languages for fun, and one of them was Chinese. And from the words she recognized, her little heart froze. The bomb is under the seat. He won't make it past the bridge. The toy in her hand trembled, her breath hitched. A color drained from her face. Clara noticed instantly. Sophie, sweetheart, what's wrong? But Sophie didn't answer. Her wide eyes were fixed on the car, and the man walking toward it. Mr. Liang smiled, shaking hands, unaware of the danger just steps away. Then, in a voice small but piercing, Sophie cried out, "Don't get in the car!" The plaza froze. Every head turned. Even the wind seemed to stop. The guards stiffened. One of them reached for his earpiece, his face flashing with panic. Clara's heart pounded as she clutched her daughter's shoulders. Mr. Liang hesitated, confusion flickering in his eyes until he saw Sophie's trembling hand pointing toward the car. Something in her gaze, raw, terrified, pure, made him stop. "Wait," he ordered quietly. Within seconds, the security team rushed forward. One guard tried to insist everything was fine, but another opened the car door, and the faint sound of ticking filled the silence. A heartbeat later, chaos. Police sirens, screams, then dash boom. The explosion tore through the parking area, shaking the ground and covering the plaza in smoke and dust. Mr. Liang was thrown backward, but alive. Clara shielded Sophie as debris rained down. The imposter guards were captured, immediately hired through a fake security agency. What was meant to be an assassination had turned into a miracle of survival, because a child had listened, understood, and spoken up. Hours later, at the police station, the once impenetrable businessman sat across from the woman and child who had saved him. His crisp white shirt was torn, his voice unsteady. "She saved my life," he whispered, staring at Sophie. "No one has ever done that for me before." Weeks passed. The story made national headlines, "Millionaire saved by a child's warning." But the cameras never saw what happened afterward. Mr. Liang began visiting Clara and Sophie often. He learned about her struggles, the long hours, the single motherhood, the little apartment they called home. And in that time he found something he'd lost long ago: connection. Sophie became the daughter he never had, and Clara, a reminder that kindness still exists in a world obsessed with power and success. He later funded a program in Sophie's name to help underprivileged children learn languages and use knowledge bravely, just as she had. But what changed him most wasn't survival, it was perspective. A lifetime of building walls of wealth and control had blinded him to what truly mattered. It took one small voice to remind him that life's greatest treasures aren't built, they're felt. Months later, they stood together once more on that same plaza, sunlight spilling across the glass towers. Mr. Liang looked down at Sophie and said softly, "You didn't just save my life. You reminded me what it means to live it." Sophie smiled, her mother's proud hand resting on her shoulder. Behind them, the city shimmered, not as a jungle of ambition, but as a place reborn through courage, compassion, and love. And as their story reminds us, sometimes the smallest voices speak the loudest truths. So tell us, what would you have done if you were Sophie that day? Would you have had the courage to speak up? Because in the end, kindness spoken in any language has the power to save the world. This was HQ Infinite Stories, where every tale reminds us that hope still lives in the hearts of the brave.